Jason Donnelly, thanks so much for letting myself and Golf Western into your magnificent race headquarters here. What a selection of cars.
We've always grown up with cars, always had street cars and always wanted fast cars. Family come along first, so no fast cars. Once the family got a little bit older and we started our business, we started to get into cars more and more. My original dream car was to have a 10-second street car. It's up in one of the other sheds and it's just grown from there. The next generation being involved, Jake and Dan with racing junior dragsters. 15 years later they're racing nitro cars at 250 mile an hour plus.
I've noticed that you have a passion for, or should I call it an obsession, with the 57 Chevy. Tell us where that started.
You can thank Victor Bray for that. When I was younger, you know, Victor Bray was the king of door slammer. You know, long smoky burnouts, the king of the racing. And it sort of rubbed off onto my two boys, so they do admire the body shape. So we've got 6 57 Chevs at the moment. A few one-offs there, which is pretty cool. Bit of nostalgia about a lot of the cars. Directly behind me we've got a McEwen body 57 Chev wheel stander, which is the orange one, which is McEwen body. There's only a handful throughout the world. Then we've got my dream race car behind it, which is the 57 Sports Coupe, which runs top sportsman. It can run down to 780s, aspirated.
She's got a big cube NA spec engine in it, is that right?
Originally it was a 650 cuber. We've knocked it back to a 632 cube. It could jump 1,000 horsepower of gas on it, no problem, but we haven't used that as yet. We haven't had to. That car's full steel bodied, except for the front clip. Still got the VIN tags on that car, and I still got the import approvals for that car.
It's about as close as it gets to a modified street car, isn't it?
Pretty well, yeah. That was #1 street outlaw, the Power Cruise, for probably 12 or 18 months when that was running. No one could catch it. Then there's my pride and joy, which is the 57 Nomad. We finally ran our first 5 in that car. I think we've done just on 30 passes with that car since we've owned it. It's the one and only because we've got the moulds to it. No one else has got the body shape. And it's Murray Anderson chassis. We've just updated all the engine and gone full auto and that. We put a Bruno drive in that. We might make some more changes. It's all about seat time. We've hit a bit of a wall with suspension. We've got some new shocks and a few other bits and pieces to put in it now to try and get it a bit quicker. You've got to remember that car's nearly 20-year-old, so we're trying to catch some cars that have got the latest technology and probably work a little bit more efficient than what we have, but we're going out there giving it a shot. We'll get there.
Anywhere in the 5-second zone isn't hanging about. There's nothing quite like a blown Hemi, is there?
I probably wouldn't build another Chevy engine again. I'd put a Hemi in everything. That's it. It's the easiest way to go.
Victor would be happy with that.
They're made to work on. Then after that, there's the 57 Outlaws funny car, which we built that car completely in our shed. That's another McEwen body. When we built that car, we had the McEwen model sitting on the roof of the body, and basically it's almost to the number of screws in the windows. That's how correct that car is. We had the pleasure of meeting Tom McEwen earlier this year before he passed away, and he knew all about our car, which was pretty cool.
So it's got a real unique exhaust note, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, when we first had that engine combination, that was 560 cubes, and that was why it used to thump. It's like a tractor, and I think we only revved it to 7.5 grand. And just rattles down there. We'll run 650s all day. We don't go for speed in that car, we go for consistency. So we always try and sit around the 660s, 670s. So then we go down to the 2 Nitro cars, which we've got the Avenger, which is the ex-In-N-Out burger car, which is a fair bit of nostalgia behind that out of the States. And Jake's Camaro behind that one, which is Bumblebee, which is the other kid's favourite.
The Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars series, an amazing series. There's just nothing quite like Nitro, is there? It really brings them alive.
It is. We've got a supercharger that's half the size of any of the other cars. We run nearly 3 times the amount of fuel. We probably run twice as much advance in the magnetos as anything else. And you tip that yellow fuel in and you make a couple of thousand extra horsepower. It's pretty amazing stuff. But it also bites you just as hard, which we found out in Perth. And we had a major explosion there. We dropped a valve, and from the injector hat down, it was trashed. So supercharger, everything, block, you name it, we wrecked a lot. So that was a very steep learning curve for us. and it was purely a parts failure. It was going the fastest. It was on a mission that day, as they always do just before they blow up.
I remember Dan actually saying that he was a little bit tempted not to get back in the seat for a little while.
It rattled him.
He decided to get back on the horse. We saw him up at Cairns absolutely flying.
Yeah, well, his first full powered pass was actually Brisbane before Cairns. Dan and Jake both rattled off 567s, which were, I think, the two fastest, second both fastest cars in the first round. And it was pretty good, back on the horse real fast, at 254 mile an hour.
And I believe you also have a beautiful convertible in the 57 range.
Yeah, we've finished that a few months ago, and it's always a dream to have a convertible. Finally got it together. We've had it for over 10 years. Been working to get it built, and it's come out lovely. Had it out to a couple of shows, and it's picked up top paint and top car of the shows. And
there's modern running gear in it, is that correct?
Yeah, a load of model running gear in it. Haven't gone the LS way in that one, probably should have. I already had all the running gear for that car probably 5 years ago, and it's been wrapped in plastic in the corner of the shed, waiting for the time to go in it. I probably missed a generation of technology in that one, but there's still nothing wrong with an old carbured engine to turn the key and go for a drive around the corner, around the block, and have a good time.
There's nothing quite like a convertible. Driving a car without that roof, looking up at the sky or the stars, whatever it may be, it's an awesome experience, isn't it?
I don't have a motorbike licence, but I feel like it'd be like a Harley, but I've just got 4 wheels. I don't have to put my feet down at the lights.
I've noticed the transport you've got here looks absolutely unbelievable. The whole 57 Chevy theme, how did that come about?
That's my wife. She does all the design. I can't pick colours. I cannot put A and B together. I can't draw a stick man, I can't draw a straight line. But that was Hayley and Mac from Vinyl Wraps and Graphics in Melbourne. They put that together, and that's their workmanship, and between the two of those, you can't get any better in Australia.
I've also noticed that you've got your own dedicated engine room here as well, so you do your own engine building?
We do everything in-house. Basically everything, all bar some of the major machining, in-house here. We try and buy piece by piece everything we got, and do it all in-house. Our crew chief, Graham Frawley, is a fantastic and knowledgeable, he's a walking encyclopedia. And without him, we couldn't do what we do.
And of course you do use Gulf Western Oil products, and you've been extremely happy from what I hear. Engine builders absolutely stoked with the results he's seeing in these engines.
We pull them apart, and the lubrication is the least of our problems. Lubrication is second to none. We've been using Gulf Western for probably nearly 15 years throughout our business, and through our race cars probably over 10. It's great oil, you know, partnering with the best.
And I believe that stems right through to your business, and a lot of people out there won't know what your business is, but you like to blow stuff up, don't you? And we're not talking about race engines here, are we?
No, we try and do as few race engines as possible, but yeah, that's what we do every day. So we're drilling and blasting contractors. We're probably one of the largest blasting contractors in Queensland, and privately owned in probably Australia. We're punching over 20 rigs and about 35 guys now. We do the whole job. We transport our own drills, we drill our own holes. We have surveyors that mark out and design all our blasts. Then we have crews of guys that come and load and fire the blasts. We mix our own explosives. In the last 2 months, we've got the latest and greatest, biggest technology breakthrough in drilling in our area, up and running in southeast Queensland. We've won some major contracts. These smart rigs, basically you sit there and monitor the machine. They're amazing, they can do everything themselves. We can autonomously operate these machines. One man can operate 6 machines remotely. We've been using Gulf Western from front to back. Lubrication is second to none. There's no other machines around that do what we do. These machines work very hard. And if one system or one of those lubricants let us down, the hammer part that actually does the drilling, the minimum price for one of those is 120 grand. We rebuild them every 400 hours. We pull those hammers apart. That's lubed by Gulf Western rock oil, which is a thick gear oil which lubricates that hammer, and the hydraulic oil runs through that hydraulic hammer. We pull those hammers down and they're good. We reseal them, put them back together because of the lubricants we use. We have engines we pull down. They go past their rebuild time when they should have been rebuilt. We pull them down, and the mechanics, which is Cummins or Caterpillar, go, what oil are you using? Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So that's a true testament to the quality of lubricants that we're using. Gulf Western Oil is the tough Australian to work in a tough Australian environment.